Hi, Cozy Adventures. This week I am looking at powdery perfumes, starting with some elegant powdery vanillas. And I'm starting that part with Vinnie Planifolia from Guerlain. And I actually did get a sample of the original that's extraordinarily expensive. And then I have two dupes, Vanilla Aura and Vanifolia. Vanifolia. It's hard to say. And to me, this is a kind of spicy vanilla. It's supposed to be very like pure vanilla, but maybe pure vanilla bean in its purest form does have more spice to it. It smells similar to birch beer, which is like a mix. It's like somewhere in between root beer and cream soda. So it's more on the vanilla side, but it does have a sort of fizzy, spicy feeling to it. And it lasts super long, like into the 10-11 hours. What it turns into later is more of a skin scent and a creamier, deeper, richer kind of Guerlain vanilla. What it starts out is more this almost like kind of powdery, spiced vanilla. But the wafts of it are really lovely. The projection is really nice. It's not my favorite because I do like usually a more rich vanilla. Like I love the other Guerlains, but I like it. And then Vanilla Aura, I might actually prefer to the original because it has, I think, a little more citrus, like there's some brightness at the beginning. And that kind of stays. And it's like, yeah, it just has a little bit lighter texture to it that I like, with a similar smell in the air that it projects. It doesn't have that depthful Guerlain vanilla in it, but I like it. I think it's nice. And that one lasts pretty long. That one lasted like at 11 hours. It was still there as a skin scent. And it's pretty, like the beginning is fresher, but otherwise from that, it is pretty linear, I believe. Yeah. It doesn't make the same kind of projective scent bubble as the original. And then Vanifolia, it lasts a lot less time. It's about 6 hours and it's gone. And it is completely linear, and it does have a similar scent to the scent that's projected with the original. Hi, Cozy Adventures. So moving on to some more elegant powdery vanillas. And I started with Vinnie Planifolia by Guerlain. And I have a couple more Guerlains for my elegant powdery vanillas and a couple that aren't Guerlain. So I will start with one that's not, and that is Mancera Black Vanilla. This category of my powdery vanillas, the elegant one, I think most all of them have a very present floral element. Something that really doesn't make it just a strict vanilla and powder, but somehow elevated and feeling a little fancier and a little more mature maybe. So black vanilla, I actually just sprayed it on my chest. It starts out like a floral powdery smell, and then throughout the wear it gets more and more like a creamy vanilla. So right now it's in the powdery stage. And the floral in it is on the rose side. It's the most rosy of the ones that I'm looking at for powdery. So it definitely has like a couple different stages that are very different. This floral powdery beginning, and then a richer vanilla deep dry down. And it's nice and strong. So if you like both of those things and kind of want to have an experience over time with a perfume, this is a good one. And then next I have the L'Essence, Shalimar L'Essence, the new Shalimar for this last year. That's basically the old Shalimar, but with a big old heap of delicious Guerlain thick dreamy vanilla heaped on top of it. And I love this one because it makes me feel like I'm wearing a mix between like my grandma's perfume and my perfume, you know, like the super vanillic, more gourmand kind of vanilla mixed with this like this perfume that has so many different notes, and it's like leathery and it has florals, and it's just kind of like darker and mature, more mature, and really reminds me of grandma's, but with this like updated sexy vanilla on top. So I think that's Cozy Adventures. So moving on with more elegant powdery vanillas, I have another from Guerlain, which is Angelique Noir. And this one feels very much like a powder bomb to me, but it's not quite baby powder, but it's going in that direction. It's a vanilla with like herbs and florals in a way that is unusual. I can't remember what the florals are. There's like caraway or something in it. That makes me, oh, Angelica. So that's the green, the plant that's in it. So it reminds me of like herb shops and stuff, but it is still very sweet vanilla and powdery, and it projects a lot and really gives you a nice thick scent bubble. And it doesn't have, I think in the very deep dry down, like at least after 6 hours, it might get some of that more rich Guerlain vanilla at the end. I think that is the case. Yes, it is. So it gets more like double spirituous vanille, which is like the perfect Guerlain rich vanilla at the end. So you get to have that experience at the end after this really strong, powdery, herbal, green vanilla thing going on earlier on. And I think it's cedar is the wood in it. There's something about it that smells similar to me to the Dama Bianca by Xerjoff. And this is a very like powdery kind of ethereal vanilla, but also has an element that smells herbal to me. I couldn't figure out from the notes what that would be, but it has a similarly herbal element, and then it has the same wood note as this one, which I think is cedar, but I'm not quite sure. I wish I had, oh, maybe I did write it down. Let's see. Whoop. I'm not finding it easily, but basically they both have some elements that make them not gourmand and more sort of a floral green herbal vanilla, and there's something bitter to it with those aspects. So I find them interesting, but they're not my favorite. But I think I like them like layered with other things. Like this one, I discovered I like layered with what I'll talk about next. Hi, Cozy Adventures. So now I'm getting into the baby powder perfumes. Some are more straight baby powder, some are on the more vanilla side, but still in the baby powder world. Yeah, a couple of them have a little bit differences, but my top two like most baby powdery perfumes are Narciso Rodriguez Poudre. And this one has a lovely scent bubble and projection, and it's pretty straight baby powder with a little sweetness. And I really like this layered with Dama Bianca, because Dama Bianca brings more sweetness, a little more vanilla, and then it has that like slightly bitter herbally aspect that this kind of balances out. And so with both of those layered on my body, it gives me a really lovely powdery scent bubble, sweet powdery scent bubble. And then this one is Bath and Body Works Lavender plus Vanilla Sleep Aromatherapy fragrance, and it is like straight up baby wipe smell to me. So people that like smelling like really like a baby product, I don't know why. It says it is made with essential oils, but it does not smell like vanilla and lavender essential oils to me. Although those are probably in a lot of baby powder, vanilla and lavender. Something about the way this comes out smells really baby wipes. And then this one I really like but can't wear because it's Latafla and I get allergies. This is Anna Abayed Poudre, and this is a pretty straightforward baby powder as well. To me, it has a little bit of like grandma-ishness, but it's mostly light and sweet version of baby powder, and it does have a vanillic aspect to it. And I totally recommend it if you don't have the chemical sensitivities I have. The Bath and Body Works I'm allergic to too. So these I'll see if I can find someone else who wants them. And then Vera Wang Princess. This perfume is confusing to me because it has a lot of different notes and it has this sort of like nondescript smell in a way, but it comes together like a floral powdery smell. And it's sort of baby powder and sort of makeup powder. But then it also has, if you compare it to other things that are straight up baby powder, it has some fruity elements and some chocolatey elements. Hi, Cozy Adventures. So these are the rest of my baby powder scented fragrances and they're all vanillic. So these ones are probably like 50-50 vanilla and baby powdery to me, or some other percentage. But first I have Fantasy Intimate Edition by Britney Spears, and I think there is still a little bit of the original DNA of Fantasy underneath it, but it also has lemon and lychee, and then it has violet and lily of the valley, which in this I think gives it a little bit soapiness to the powdered smell. And then vanilla, white musk, heliotrope, and benzoin. So it has all of this vanilla stuff, but overall has a sort of slightly soapy, powdery scent that never quite gets to be gourmandy to me. It has sweetness from brown sugar and the vanilla, so that's that one. And then this one I wanted to revisit, Vanilla Fields, because I remembered my sister used to always have a bottle of this in the cabinet in her bathroom, and I wonder if it's still there. I feel like it was there for a very, very long time, and I would every so often go and spray it and smell it. This smells a little different now than what I remember, because I didn't remember it smelling baby powdery to me. But this does smell pretty baby powdery to me. It does get more vanilla as you wear it. And it does have an element of this particular 90s musky vanilla going on, but altogether is pretty powdery. So that's Vanilla Fields. Then I have by Rosie Jane Dolce. So yeah, Dolce. And this one, I was surprised. I didn't expect it to be as powdery as it was, but it smells like vanilla baby powder. Like, this is what I would think vanilla powder would smell like, because it's very vanillic. It's a strong vanilla, but it also, the kind of vanilla it is, feels like it could be a scented, like a rich vanilla scented baby powder. So I really like that one. Sometimes on my skin it feels more in the baby powder realm, and sometimes it feels more in the vanilla. And then Lake and Sky 1111 Vanilla has a lighter texture. It really doesn't project that much. So if you want a really light, kind of fresher powdery vanilla, this is good. And then I'll tell you my number one in the next little video. Hi, Cozy Adventures. So my number one baby powder vanilla perfume, since I don't like straight baby powder, I like it to be vanillic, is Tahara Vanilla Musk by Gulf Orchid. And this one smells like straight up baby powder to me, but softened. It doesn't smell like baby wipes or baby powder, like actual baby wipes or baby powder. Like that's like a note of it. But it also smells sweet and light and sort of like ethereal. And I could imagine someone smelling it more as a baby powder perfume or more as a vanilla perfume. But it doesn't like go back and forth in the way that like Dolce does to my nose. Like I smell both all the time with this one. Yeah, it feels like a pretty Princess Fairy baby powder perfume rather than like some that feel a little bit more mature. This one feels just very soft and sweet. And then I want to talk about some perfumes that are supposed to be vanilla powdery but don't smell like vanilla powder, including Vanilla Powder by Matière Premier. This one to me has, it smells like this bitter coconut powder. It's such a strong bitter smell to me for some reason. That doesn't smell like vanilla to me. Like I can tell that there's vanilla in it, but it's much more this bitter, like a dry, bitter coconut. And it projects a ton. I don't really like the original very much, but the Codlage Furson White dupe, I like more. It's smoother and sweeter, but still has a similar like strong projected smell. And this one helped me understand why people like this one, because this one just isn't quite smooth and sweet enough for me. And I know a lot of people like the extrait of this because it is sweeter and maybe smoother. So I haven't gotten to smell that one yet. So those are like coconutty powder, not vanilla powder. And in that category, I also have Milky White by Dossier, which is, I think, inspired by vanilla powder. It does not smell one-to-one at all, but I like it better. It's sweeter and it has kind of an incensey vibe. Hi, Cozy Adventures. I want to share a couple more categories of powdery perfumes that I've been enjoying. And one is a powdery woody coffee. So I've noticed that the ones that I've found and liked all have both coffee and a like powdery cedar. And the one that's the most sort of like baseline that I can find in all the other ones, but it's just the baseline, is Bois Course by Diptyque. And that is sweet, powdery, woody coffee, and it has a really lovely scent bubble, and it lasts for a long time on me. I think it lasted longer than all of the other ones that I'm going to talk about. And then the next one I would talk about is Freedom Musk Cafe, or Freedom Musk Latte by Kayali. And I already talked about that one in the rose. It's like a very light latte with rose and some lavender, but it also has that powdery cedar in it that I love, and sandalwood. But it definitely has a similarity with Bois Course. And then Coffee Break has lavender, no rose, but it is also a powdery cedar coffee, but then it also has patchouli. And then Good Girl, the original Good Girl, has the powdery coffee and cedar and patchouli, I think. But it has rose, but it has tuberose, and the tuberose kind of blasts over all of it, this sort of bubblegummy tuberose that makes it a very different texture than the rest of them. But I could smell some of Coffee Break
and some of Boy's Course in Good Girl, and some of Freedom Musk Latte. And is that all of them? Good Girl, Coffee Break, Boy's Course, and Freedom Musk Latte. Yes. Anyway, I love that. I would call this like a shared DNA, because it's a certain smell that I'm now being able to pick up in other ones, that the root of it is in Boy's Course by Diptyque. And I liked it so much I got a hand-me-down of Coffee Break from someone on Mercari, because I was like, I like this. This is something I would want to wear a lot as like a sort of fall time signature. And if I found a good deal, I would also get a bottle of the Freedom Musk Latte and definitely of Boy's Course, but I imagine that there aren't inexpensive bottles of that. And then I also do have Good Girl already. So this is a category that I've grown to really like. Hi, Cozy Adventures. So my last category for powdery perfumes for now that I've been exploring is sexy powdery perfumes. And these, I think, have some themes going on. I've discovered that Iris, when it's, what's it called? Orris, like an Orris butter, is sexy to me when it's sweet, when it's added to something sweet, or sort of cedarwoody or sandalwoody. So I guess I'll start with the one that's like that, and that would be Molecule 01, which is a molecule that does have that cedarwood scent, and it is Molecule 01 with Iris, so it's just Orris butter, and Molecule 01, which is what is it? Iso Super. Yeah, and I really like it. I'm not sensitive to it allergy-wise because it's simple molecules, and it's very subtle. It's very much a skin scent. And sometimes more than others, it smells really magical to me on my skin. Like today I used it and it didn't smell that magical, but other times I've used it like before bed, after a bath, and I'm like, oh, my skin smells magical. So that's Molecule 01 plus Iris. And then Cheirosa 59 is a like candied violet and vanilla, but this one smells like it has Orris in it too. I don't think it lists it. It lists orchid as well, and sandalwood, but yeah, it smells vanilla orris-y, but also violet-y. And this one does project, like this one does waft around in the air, and I love the lotion of it too. And I weirdly like layering this with date perfumes. I guess that probably gives it a little bit of depth, like a richness. And then I'll do Kissa Delicious. And this one is another skin scent that makes, like, it really makes me feel like my skin is this magical doll skin that smells a little bit like cocoa or cookies, but also like a really luxurious cream, like a luxurious hand cream. And yeah, it just makes my skin smell magical. So that's Kissa Delicious. And another one that's magical is Blanche Bette. And this one to me has a bit of a baby powdery scent, but with incense and mystical note, whatever that is. Hi, Cozy Adventures. So my last sexy powdery perfumes to share with you are a couple of them that are cashmere. I have the Snowflakes and Cashmere from Bath & Body Works that unfortunately I'm kind of allergic to, but it has a tea note, and what else? It has like a lot in it that I love. Yeah, I think it's the cashmere vanilla tea. Oh, it has clementine in it that makes it a little fresh. And then I recently got Cashmere Skin from Fleur that smells similar, but without the little bit of citrus and a little bit of tea that makes this one special. But it still has a similar sexy cashmere scent. So I'm liking this one, and I like that it's also a hair mist, and I don't seem to be allergic to it, which is awesome. And then Versace Crystal Noir is a sort of je ne sais quoi kind of perfume. It's kind of powdery, kind of creamy, kind of sweet, kind of spicy. It starts out with some ginger and pepper, and it feels kind of bright and spicy, and then that kind of fades away, and what steps through is this sweet, like that tang is still in there, but then there's this sweet, powdery, lotiony, yummy smell. And this smells like it should have orris fruit in it too, so maybe it does. It's hidden somewhere in there. But what it does have is gardenia, which I know is also can be a very creamy floral, so that might be what I'm smelling in there. But this one I really love, Crystal Noir, and it does a awesome scent bubble and some like medium projection, so I really like that one. And then the last one, is Cotton Abayad, which I am kind of allergic to, by Paris Corner. Paris Corner I'm less allergic to than some of the other inexpensive Middle Eastern perfumes. But this one is like a sweet baby powder Baccarat Rouge plummy Baccarat Rouge. And next week I'm going to be doing plum perfume, so I was like trying to figure out where to put it, but I wanted to put it in the Sexy Powdery because it even has like a little cottontail on it, like it's and it's called Cotton Abayad, which made me feel like it should be included in the powderies. But yeah, this one is another sexy Baccarat Rouge-y one with I would say it's a thicker density than Baccarat Rouge. It's less airy and more powdery sexy, like a kind of dense powdery sexy. So those are my powders. Hi Cozy Adventures. I just wanted to wrap up my February exploration of powdery fragrances with a revisit of the powder that kind of like won out of all the other powders. I would say my Sexy Powdery video, almost all of the ones in that video are favorites, so it's hard to pick one favorite out of those. But for the rest of the powdery, the vanilla powdery, the baby powder, this one, the Tahara Vanilla, is the winner because it is both very baby powdery and a soft, sweet vanilla. And it gives this sort of light, powdery, ethereal thing. If you don't like smelling like baby powder, you wouldn't like it because it's definitely both a vanilla and a baby powder. And I found someone on Mercari who was selling both that and their Angel Musk from Gulf Orchid, and I just wanted to share that with you as well. Angel Musk has a little bit of rose in it. The sweetness in it almost reminds me of cotton candy a little bit, but it's still very baby powder, very musky. When you first spray it, it's maybe overwhelmingly baby powder to some people, but then it fades to this really pretty, sexy, musky, sweet, powdery thing going on. So I really, really like both of these, and I'm not allergic to them. Yay! So that's exciting because a lot of the Middle Eastern, inexpensive Middle Eastern fragrances I've been allergic to, unfortunately. And then I also got Exclamation, this fragrance that I do think I had but didn't like actually in the 90s. And when you first spray it, it smells very much like just chemicals and hairspray kind of smell to me. But its deeper dry down is also like a vanilla baby powder smell, a little bit more on the chemical-y side, like a hairspray or hair product, but actually quite similar to the Tahara Vanilla in the deep dry down as being a powdery vanilla. And it's fun to have that vintage bottle and vintage feeling. So I just wanted to share those. Those are sort of my like
February realizations of things that I like. Hi, Cozy Adventures. I am doing another astrology time video for Pisces. I'm picking 3 fragrances for each sign. One that sort of bridges from the sign before, one in the middle, and one that bridges to the next sign. So in Pisces, we left off in Aquarius with sort of molecular fragrances, and I'm going to start Pisces with Molecule 01 plus Iris. I just talked about it in my Powdery fragrances. It's just ISOE Super, which is this sort of like cedary, soft, sweet wood smell, skin scent. I really like it. It does really well on my skin and to my nose. Plus an orris root or iris smell that is like this sexy floral powdery smell. So that would be the beginning of Pisces. For some reason, the iris and orris root feels Pisces to me, and that Pisces is emotional, dreamy, depthful, and also kind of the elder of the zodiac. And there's something around these sort of irisy, powdery fragrances that's a little older. Not that this fragrance smells mature, but yeah, that for some reason that fits Pisces for me. And then for the middle of Pisces, I chose Blanche Bette. This is a decant of it. And so this goes into some deeper Piscean, dreamlike world that's sexy, that has some je ne sais quoi to it, which is the mystical note, and also incense, and yeah, some other complex stuff, but in a mostly sort of lactonic, sweet, vanillic, milky smell with this incense and the je ne sais quoi. So that's Pisces, the middle of Pisces. And then the end of Pisces, I'm going even deeper into some incensey vanilla with Spirituous Double Vanille, Spirited Double Vanilla by Guerlain. And this is a lot of people's favorite vanilla because it's so depthful and it has all kinds of different layers. It really just feels like going into the deep, and there's something spiritual about it too.